Hey everybody. What I'd like to do in this second part of the Week 10 lecture is to evaluate or just look a little bit more into the company or policy information that was provided. First, we were told it's a food manufacturer with SIC 2023. That's for Standard Industrial Classification Code. No longer used. We switched it over in like 2002 or 2003. I was told that the annual premium for this company is $763. Their EMR is about 0.84 and their payroll is about 31 million, 31.5 million. And it seems like it's primarily one policy class code. And so we're going to kind of play around with that. I looked online and I found that their NAICS, the equivalency is about 311514. So what I did, I went into the Bureau of Labor Statistics and looked up actually this would be old. They just came out with the new ones, but the new ones are heavily skewed by COVID. So we'll stick with the 19 for now. They kind of fell under something called dry condensed and evaporated dairy product manufacturing. And here it is, the 311554. How do they compare to all industries or just private industry? Because that's what I put up above. Well, their total case incidence rate is a little bit below, but we know that that's no big deal. Their DART is just below, and their other recordables is lower, which we have identified as something we don't like. So what's the comparison of no lost time to lost time? It's 0.6 to 1.5. The least common denominator is 0.3. So it's basically a 2 to 5. That's not good. If it was flipped, it'd be okay, but it's not good. Whereas this appears about 1 to 1. So it appears that this industry as a whole, you're more likely to incur a severe injury than a non-severe. They don't have a lot of non-severe injuries reported, at least in their Bureau of Labor Statistics. So let's play around a little bit with the numbers we have. So the 2021 adjusted premium is based on the overall base premium times by the EMR. Jeez, let's learn to spell, dude. I'm talking to myself, of course. Which is the rolling average of 2017, 2018, 2019. And that is the amount they were told. We told it's $763,000. If we were to take the adjusted premium and divide it by the EMR, we would get their actual annual premium, which is approximately $908,333. I shouldn't go that exact, but I'll just say $908,333. So for 2021, let's look at the annual data. Now, this is probably calendar, but we did everything in fiscal, so we're going to go with fiscal. It's a little overlap. And so I brought over my annual analyses, annual trending data here, and added up all the total paid for fiscal years 2017 to 2019. That equals about 1.365 million. I divided it by 3. So this is the annual rolling average amount of claims that have been paid out. If we recall, the loss ratio is what the company pays for a premium. What the insurer expects them to pay divided by what they do pay. And there's usually about a 60% is what we were told. So I took what they did pay, multiplied it times 0.6, and that's how I got the annual expected average would be about 545,000. If they get below that, their EMR is going to go down. If they get above that, the EMR is going to go up. If they get that, it's going to be 1. So what's the breakdown? Well, if you divide what their annual average is, 455 divided by that, you get 83.49%, which is 0.84. That's their EMR. Isn't that interesting? I didn't think it would come out that well. I tried to do it for some other years, but the problem is the rate changes, which changes the base. Okay, so PCC 6504. That's a policy class code. I go to the WCRB class code lookup. This is for the food, and it kind of gives us other information, and it gives us the rates. And we have 2018s and 2021s. Yeah. So in 2021, it was 0.72 per 100 payroll. So 0.72. So let's see what we can do up here. So if we take the payroll, we'll take the rate. So let's go equal 2.72. That's the rate times by the payroll, which is 315,000,000 divided by 100. What do we get? So that is a little bit above. So they have other policy class codes that are lower at this company, And that would then bring it down to this amount here. That's where it is. Or is it that times 0.84? Let's see. This times 0.84. No, it's still a little bit different. So it's not a perfect, it's actually off a little bit. But anyway, so we're able to kind of play around with it and see what it equaled when we did it for 2021. We don't know what's really going to happen when things drop off, though, as it is, though we were going to have to look at the number of open claims and what the incurred is, the difference for it. And we'll do that a little bit later. Or I guess we could do it now. But you can see 17, 18, 19. So when 17 drops off next year, they're actually going to have a lower EMR, like considerably lower. And then when 18 drops off, it looks like it's going to go low again, as long as these like open claims aren't realized as being too high. As long as it stays below this 481, it's going to go down. Not as low as we're seeing here. They're not going to get a 0.56 or 0.42, but it could go from an 8.4 to something in the 0.7s, possibly to the 0.6s. Yeah, it's possible. Isn't that cool? And the other thing I'd want you to do is also look to this for later this week. We're gonna, or later part here this week, we're gonna look at the research statistics data. We go through DWD, look under workplace safety, and you can go to statistics, and we'll compare our numbers to the 18 numbers. That's the most recent reports. And that's that. But let's just go real quick to the trending, because I did some trending analyses with outliers, or did I do it with the, I thought there's one of these that I did here we go. This is what I did. I left the outliers in. So I was just playing around a little bit as far as, just looking into the number of open claims. So there's about 28 open claims at 7.2% of the total. Again, this is outliers are included. I felt that was required if I was going to kind of mess with the EMR. Can't take those out yet. So if I know what rows or columns I'm going to be, playing with, all I need to know is the rows that are represented by these years. So in 2021, we have 15 open claims, which is over half of the total, 28, and about 25.86% of the claims for 2021. Total incurred for 2021 is 571. So therefore, the difference between what has been paid and what we used versus what's still open, about 327,000. That's quite a bit. So they're going to be really good with their early return to work this year in order to try to keep it below that 481,000, which will be dropped off. In 2020, they still have about 3 open claims. It's about 10% of the number of open claims and about 5% of the 2020 total claims. Total incurred remaining is 560,000. Total difference about 388. Again, these three, 327, 388, and then for 2019 I did it, and see the difference is only 50,000. So 2019 is pretty rest assured it's going to be about that amount, but there's more open claims. They must be really close to being closed. But then in 2018, this is going to be dropping off pretty soon, but it looks like there is a big amount. So whatever's going on in 2018, I think they're going to be really happy when that eventually drops off, which is going to be not this coming year, but the year after. So it may actually go up. Yikes. So this number could go up somewhat substantially, I guess. But then when 2018 rotates off, 2019 is very low. As long as they have a good 2020 and a good 2021, they could keep this down and get a lower number. So that's all I wanted to cover for this. In the next one, we're going to get into the accident location, which is a real interesting take.